And on the line with us is a very special guest. She is the founder of Activate Hub, Lindsay Caron Epstein. The website activatehub.org, and you can also follow her on Twitter at ActivateLinds, and also follow Activate Hub on Twitter at ActivateHub. Lindsay, thanks so much for joining us.
Jacob, thanks for having me. Hi.
Tell us, for our friends who have no idea and have never heard of Activate Hub, what is Activate Hub?
Activate Hub is an action-based social network for social change. So it's an aggregated event calendar for all of the protests, documentary screenings, lectures, political debates in each city. And it kind of automatically populates with all these events so that you can find the organizations, events, and people that are making an impact in your community.
Oh, wow. So you're essentially organizing, trying to really organize all of the activism that's happening.
Absolutely. And I tend to identify as an activist, but I certainly hope that the users of our site, I would paint that with a broader swath, anyone who's interested in learning more about social political issues. So there's the people who want to tie themselves to a tree and stop the bulldozers from coming through, but also anyone who just wants to know more about how do these new healthcare laws impact their lives and how can they sign up, and what is Prop 8 or Prop 1, depending on where you're living, and what is the new legislation that we should be intrigued about. How do I go find out more about climate change and gay rights? So we're hoping for a really, really broad swath of the civically engaged.
All sorts of events and organizations and venues, absolutely. And I firmly believe in, if we're going to create significant change, to the extent that we can create significant change, it's going to take all of us coming together and unifying and building that community, building that Activate Hub, and giving the activists not only a place to come where they can share their events and share about, what they're doing and showing up in the streets, but also, like you're saying, learn and educate ourselves and educate more about the issues so we can, be more apt to go out and get active, right?
Absolutely. I think that having issue silos has been such a huge hindrance to change amongst the progressive movement. It's a beautiful thing that so many people care passionately about a cause, to kind of label themselves as, I'm an environmentalist, I am a gay rights advocate, but there has to be a place and a time where we come together and support each other. And that's in part because we need each other, but also the issues, the core pillar issues of whatever it is you care about is the same. When it comes down to it, we're really all fighting the same corporate personhood and money in politics, and no matter whether we consider ourselves someone fighting climate change or someone working on poverty issues, we have to come together and fight those core issues at some point. So I think it's important to have a platform where all those people can still self-identify in their silos and still be a part of a larger connected community.
Absolutely. I had a caller call into our radio show last week who wanted to talk about essentially this idea of, do you remember the pencil drop in school or whatever, when at a certain time at 1 o'clock, when the clock strikes 1 o'clock, everyone drops their pencils, stops what they're doing, and come together. And of course in school it's like read a book or something, but now we need to reorganize something like that pencil drop in society, where every Monday folks in North Carolina are stopping what they're doing and going and participating in Moral Mondays. That kind of pencil drop, come together unity. I think there's really something there and something behind that. But if folks are just joining us, we're speaking with founder of Activate Hub, Lindsay Caron Epstein. She's the founder of Activate Hub, the website activatehub.org. Lindsay, can you talk about how folks and everyone listening can actually use Activate Hub, and how we can come together and build community and use Activate Hub to do it? How can folks get on there and participate?
Well, if you go to activatehub.org, there's a lot more information about the site. There's some demo videos on how to use it. There's ways that you can get involved. Strictly from a user standpoint, you click on the city, and within your city, you can start searching for events. You can filter it by topics, whether that's human rights, healthcare, or you can say, I don't care what the topic is, I just want to see a documentary or go to a lecture. So you can, as a user, filter by those options. There's a list of organizations, so you can see which orgs in your town work on specific issues. As an organization or an activist, you can sync a calendar. So you can create a listing for yourself, anyone can, and then you can just copy and paste the URL of your calendar, and all your events will automatically show up on our site.
No way. So it's like it's like set it and forget it, autopilot.
Yeah, we tried to automate it as much as possible because we know that so often events calendars end up being dominated by those who have the financing to hire someone to promote events.
Right.
We really want to support smaller organizations and grassroots activists who don't want to have to think about where do I go to publicize it. So we want things to be as automated as possible. So you can just sync a calendar, or you can add events directly to it like a wiki. You don't have to submit and wait for approval. That's how you can use it to promote your events. And then, of course, there's a multitude of opportunities for anyone who wants to get involved. We want to launch in more cities, so we're looking for curators who want to be a part of that. We're always looking for any support, be it development or financial. There's a donate button. Let's not overlook that.
Absolutely, yes. Right at the top of activatehub.org, and I've got it open in front of me. And it's a great website. It's a fantastic idea. And I'll just share with listeners how, I came about and discovered you, Lindsay, was up at the Progressive Radio Northwest Forum on March 26th in Seattle at Impact Hub. We were talking about, the future of independent media and the future of progressive media and all these things. And Mark Taylor Canfield was there, and Space Dog Radio was there, and folks at Progressive Radio Northwest putting on this great event. And then at the end of the event, we opened up the mic to everyone there and a question and answer period. And you hopped up and jumped on the mic and said, "Time to organize, guys. Let's get together and create the Activate Hub." And Lindsay, you got the first applause of the evening from the crowd. So, and we at that point were already talking for like an hour and a half. So I'm just saying, it was good stuff. And then I was like, well, I've got to talk to you, and I've got to get her on the air and talk about this. So this is why, I wanted to have you on in case folks were listening. But
it's kind of amazing how often I hear. I mean, every time I go to an event, a progressive event, of course, if I'm at a documentary screening or a protest or a panel, consistently across the board, every event, I hear the need expressed. Why is it so hard to get involved? Why are all these different organizations not working together and coming together? Why can't people find the ways to get involved and use their time in meaningful ways? So we built a platform for it.
Again, we're speaking with founder of Activate Hub, activatehub.org, Lindsay Epstein. Lindsay, tell me about how you actually built Activate Hub. How did you get it to come together and create the website? Tell me a little bit about that.
The creation of the site was super interesting. It was definitely a long time of seeing that this need existed and hearing all these people express frustration that they couldn't make an impact, which to me is so sad, right? Because it's really easy to find all the bands playing in every bar and every movie and every theater. But if you want to use your time in a meaningful way, and to think apathy is a problem, sure, but to think that there's so many people that want to make a difference and don't know how, that lost energy and that lost momentum, that shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
We've got enough obstacles.
Exactly.
So it's a pretty robust platform, and I've had some developers, some really renowned developers, look at it and say they would, charge something like $150,000 or $200,000 to build it, which I had no money. I was still in school and living off of student loans when I started working on this.
Right.
So we got it built in a pretty interesting way. And the more I discover this world of tech startups, the more I hear from people that it's pretty fascinating how I got it built. I found volunteers and I organized hackathons and code sprints, and we found open source solutions and APIs and cobbled this thing together with volunteer power. So it's really unusual to have a website built by the community. And it's built over the course of 3 years by probably 20 or 30 different people. A community building platform for communities built by the community.
Amen. Can I get a hallelujah out there? Somebody.
Hallelujah.
That's excellent. And oh my goodness. And so, that's essentially my question. You beat me to it is, what really makes it unique. And that is so unique and so special. And that alone right there is on a level that is able to connect with me and connect with the people who are into this radio show, because that's what it's all about, is coming together and building that community and being the change, making the difference, showing up. And I can't tell you, Lindsay, how many times I've had this conversation with people and they're like, I just wish there was some place where we could go, just one place, and it's all there and everything is there. If I want to go participate in the activism, if I want to learn more about the issues, if I want to get involved and show up, I wish there was just one place where we could all go and come together under one umbrella and make a big difference together. And you have created it. And not only have you created it, but that is a hell of a way to do it. That is awesome.
When you have no resources, how do you get things done? Yeah. And, right now, like if you Google gay rights and your city, you can't find all the organizations working on something. And if you did find half of them, they'll be like buried on page 10 of your Google search, then you have to go to every single one of their websites individually and find an event listing or sign up for their newsletter. So right now, those of us who want to make a change have to get 100 emails and suss through them to see if there's someone who told me to show up on a day that works for me. And that's too difficult.
Right. Right.
I'm really busy. I'm available Tuesday night. What's going on? And
right.
Can I find that out quickly?
Right. That's so, you're so spot on. It's like, we all have lives and we're all busy, and I totally get that. Let me be at the forefront of the nonviolent revolution and the forefront of the hypocrite couch potatoes. And, I get it. The reality is we only have so much time and so much effort that we could devote to the struggle, and to be able to organize the who, what, when, where, why, how, and make it so easy for people to get in there, get what they need to know, be on their way, show up at the protest Tuesday night at 6, because that's all you can do, but you are participating at a very small but very important grassroots level in the revolution, in the rebellion, in the revolt, essentially, I would add. And this is what we need to make a real difference in the world.
Yeah. And my one other hope with it is the hardest part about event organizing is not organizing an event. It's getting the people to come to it.
Right.
And so I want it to be easy for more people who I kind of want to screen this documentary. I kind of want to have a potluck. If there's a place where you can post that and you feel confident that people will come, people are more likely to do that. And we saw that part of my inspiration was there was a calendar for the tech community in Portland called Caligator. We built on top of that platform, and between the Caligator platform and then there was a calendar for the bike community. And you saw this community begin to thrive and grow. People who previously said, I wish I had someone to ride my bike with at sunset, suddenly posted it on this calendar and 50 people would show up. And so I'm hoping that we can see that kind of a snowball effect of people who are dreaming that are able to just post and the community will come and take action. I think that's the power of a calendaring platform.
I'm so with you. Again, folks need to check out activatehub.org. Lindsay, and again, thank you, Lindsay, the founder of Activate Hub, Lindsay Caron Epstein, for joining us for a few minutes. Can you tell us where Activate Hub is already live in what cities are you already on the ground and running, and how's it going there?
We are in Portland and Detroit, where we have about 3,000 or 4,000 visitors every month. We're still looking to expand both our user base in those cities and launch in other cities. So we're about to launch in Seattle, and hopefully DC and Boston are next. So
Excellent.
If you happen to be in those cities and you want to get involved, please let me know.
Looking at you, We Act Radio, 1480 AM, WPWC, weactradio.com. Just looking at you guys, just saying. Sorry.
It's fine. And kind of what exists already to me is really just our version 1, and we really hope to add a lot more features that make it possible for people, that make it easier for organizers, right? So if you are organizing a fundraiser or a political rally or a documentary screening, where do you do that? And part of this comes from, I made a documentary about healthcare. The healthcare movie, which was narrated by Kiefer Sutherland. And as we screened it across the country, finding the places we could do that, and we, with no money, trying to find out where in these cities we've never been can we host screenings, like what kind of venues are amenable to that. So there's kind of a suite of tools that we expect to release that make it easier for people to organize grassroots movements. And that's kind of next on the horizon there.
Very cool. Very cool. How can folks help you help Activate Hub and help this grow and become a big thing and a big reality and make real significant change in the world? Help us empower ourselves to be that change.
Use it. And there's so many ways you can do that, whether you're just searching for events or commenting and sharing and liking. Of course, it's unfathomable to me how important social media is in spreading the message and helping it grow. And that sounds sort of silly, but absolutely. Anytime you can spread the message, whether it's email blasting or liking and tweeting, the more users we have, the more easily we can get funding. Right now, it's an entirely volunteer effort. If you would like to join that volunteer effort, fantastic. But really, we need to get funding to make it a sustainable and scalable thing that really has an impact. So in our quest to acquire funding, the more users and the more active it is, that's a significant help to us. And of course, you can get more involved by going to Activate Hub and contacting me.
Excellent. ActivateHub.org is the website. The founder of Activate Hub, Lindsay Caron Epstein, thank you so much for a few minutes of your time. Is there any other way for folks to check out the website other than ActivateHub.org, or is there anything else that we missed that you want to mention?
If you want to go directly to see a city calendar in action, because the Activate Hub site is more informational about what we're trying to do. So to see a city calendar directly, you can go to activatepdx.org or activate313.org. That one's Detroit and Portland.
Perfect. Lindsay, thanks so much for your time and keep up the good fight.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Jacob.